Hello and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Let's take a look at the headlines we are tracking today. A strong foundation has helped Indian economy withstand economic fluctuations, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a meeting with economists and industry leaders at Niti Aayog. Seeks their support in achieving goal of $5 trillion economy. Envoys from 16 countries, including US Ambassador Kenneth Juster, on two-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir, meet with security officials, political leaders and media persons. MES says visit to make diplomats aware of changing situation in Jammu and Kashmir. Coercing the Prime Minister and Home Minister will not solve any of Kashmir's problems, says senior PDP leader Muzaffar Hussain Beg. Asks Kashmiris to approach the centre with their problems in a dignified manner. Also accuses Kashmiri leaders of making provocative statements over Article 370. Special cell of the Delhi police arrests 3 Islamic State militants. Recover huge amount of weapons and cartridges. Terrorists were preparing to carry out attack in UP and NCR. Dawood Ibrahim's former aide, Ejaz Lakrawala, also arrested from Patna. And snowfall disrupts life in Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. Electricity and water supply affected by heavy snowfall. Cold wave sweeps many parts of northern India. Cold winds also bring down mercury levels in Delhi. Ahead of the presentation of the Union Budget, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a meeting with economists, industry representatives, business leaders and also agri-experts on Thursday. In the meeting held at Niti Aayog, the Prime Minister called for focused efforts from all stakeholders to achieve the target of making India a $5 trillion economy by the year 2024. The Prime Minister said that fundamentals of the Indian economy are strong and it has the capacity to bounce back. He also added that sectors like tourism, urban development, infrastructure and agri-based industry have a great potential to take forward the economy and also for employment generation. The Prime Minister assured them that he would act on suggestions that can be implemented in the short term and also consider long-term suggestions in due course, as these require structural reforms. Officials of the Niti Aayog were also present during the meeting.
Basically said was that, listen, I'm fine with you criticizing the government. Please tell me what's happening, because sometimes I don't know. And while, meeting you folks, I get to know and I get to understand things which I would not otherwise get to know. And then he said certain other things about how he was looking at transforming the Indian economy and, why he keeps talking about a $5 trillion economy and why he thinks it's possible. And I found it overall a very interesting interaction. And I think even I personally had a little more faith in the achievement of this target of 5 trillion.
और बहुत सारे लोगों की जिस तरह से उन्होंने बातें, जिनका क्रिटिसिज्म उन्होंने सुना और बहुत अच्छी तरह से उन्होंने उसका जवाब भी दिया कि कैसे भारत आगे चल रहा है, कितनी हमारे पास अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि मीटिंग बहुत सक्सेसफुल थी और हम लोगों को स्पेशली प्रोफेशनल्स लाइक अस फील वेरी हैप्पी टू बी इनवाइटेड and be able to give some message to the policy makers in the country.
In the other big story of the day today, envoys of 16 countries, including US Ambassador to India Kenneth Juster, visited the Kashmir Valley on Thursday as part of their 2-day trip. This is in fact the first such trip by foreign diplomats after the abrogation of Article 370 and the bifurcation of the state. The diplomats interacted with several political representatives, civil society members, as well as military top brass. The delegation also met with a team of top army officers led by Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon. During the briefing, the army highlighted the trouble from the Pakistani side and their efforts to destabilize the security situation in Kashmir. The envoys also had a meeting with civil society members from the valley, and later on, the envoys also met a delegation of political leaders and discussed the current situation in the valley. The Ministry of External Affairs said the visit aimed to make diplomats aware of this changing situation in Jammu and Kashmir.
ट्रांसपोर्ट चल रहा है, जैसे दुकानें खुल रही हैं, तो बिल्कुल आप देखें शिकारा में लोग घूम रहे हैं और वो तो बेचारे चाहते थे कब ये गड़बड़ ठीक हो जाए। हम आए कश्मीर, हमारे काफ़ी दोस्त आए हैं, तो हम और अपील भी करते हैं पूरी दुनिया में लोगों से कि आप प्लीज़ आएँ। कश्मीर को कहते हैं पैराडाइज ऑन अर्थ, आप आएँ और हमें मेहमान नवाजी का मौका दें।
मैं ये मानता हूँ कि 370 एक काला कानून था, एक ब्लैक लॉ था, ये एक इलेक्शन मैनिफेस्टो था कुछ फैमिलीज़ के लिए, जिसे एक राइट टाइम पे एक राइट डिसीजन लेके हटाया गया है।
They're sending infiltrators. Let them stop sending them here. There will be no security forces. दो मुल्क आपस में अगर भिड़ रहे हैं तो इसमें कश्मीरी कौम पिसनी नहीं चाहिए। कश्मीरी कौम इस टाइम अमन से रहना चाहती है।
Senior PDP leader Muzaffar Hussain Beg said that Kashmir's problems won't be solved by coercing Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah. The former Jammu and Kashmir Deputy Chief Minister also said that Kashmiri politicians must talk in a dignified and civilized manner when approaching the centre about Jammu and Kashmir issues. Beg also criticised his party chief for making provocative statements. Meanwhile, the PDP has expelled 8 party leaders for meeting members of a foreign delegation in Srinagar. The party said that the leaders went against the will of the people by engaging in parleys with the government.
अपने हक के लिए बात करनी है, तहजीब के साथ, गर्वी के साथ। आप मोदी जी को या होम मिनिस्टर साहब को या एलएसए को रोक दाब करके या उनको डरा धमका के कुछ हासिल नहीं कर सकते, कुछ हासिल नहीं कर सकते। तहजीब के साथ, गर्वी के साथ, हिंदुस्तान के नागरिक होने के नाते हमारी जो शिकायतें होंगी या हमारे दुख दर्द होंगे, ये उनके सामने रख रहे हैं।
Army Chief General Manoj Mukund Narvane visited the Siachen base camp, the world's highest battlefield, on Thursday. This is his first visit to any forward post after assuming the charge of the Army Chief. He laid a wreath at Siachen War Memorial to pay homage to the martyrs. He also witnessed dropping of essentials to the Jawans guarding the country's boundaries in freezing temperatures. He was accompanied by Chief of Staff Northern Command Lieutenant General Y.K. Joshi and GOC 14 Corps Lieutenant General Harinder Singh. The Army Chief also interacted with the Jawans and officials stationed at the Siachen base camp. During the visit, he underlined the importance of the armed forces in the inhospitable conditions.
Absolutely essential for us to remain ever vigilant and in control of these strategic heights, because they form the key to the rest of the defenses of Ladakh and the rest of J&K. We are aware that everyone operating here is in very tough conditions, inhospitable terrain and weather, and we are doing our best to make sure that whatever is required by the troops on the ground.
The special cell of the Delhi police arrested 3 ISIS terrorists on Thursday. They were arrested following an exchange of fire in Delhi's Wazirabad area. Deputy Commissioner of Police of the special cell, P.S. Kushwaha, said the 3 terrorists were planning terror strike in the National Capital Region and in Uttar Pradesh. They had arrived in Delhi from Tamil Nadu via Nepal. Huge amounts of arms and ammunition were also recovered from them.
करीब 12-13 दिसंबर के आसपास जो 6 लोग भागे थे, उसमें से 3 लोग नेपाल की तरफ चले गए थे। ये लोग नेपाल में रहे और नेपाल से उसके बाद ये दिल्ली में आ गए थे और इनको एनसीआर में या यूपी में कहीं कोई टेरर स्ट्राइक का प्लान बना रहे थे, जिसके लिए इन्हें फॉरेन बेस्ड हैंडलर से इंस्ट्रक्शंस मिलने थे। शुरुआती जांच से अभी ये पता चला है कि ये IS इंस्पायर्ड मॉड्यूल है।
And in another major breakthrough, the Mumbai police arrested Mumbai's most wanted gangster and former close aide of Dawood Ibrahim, Ejaz Lakdawala from Patna. The 50-year-old underworld gangster was detained in Patna by the anti-extortion cell of the Mumbai police with the help of the Bihar police on Wednesday. Lakdawala was wanted in several cases of extortion and attempt to murder. He was also wanted in at least 27 cases in Maharashtra itself, including 25 in Mumbai. As many as 80 people had filed complaints against him. The police had been trying to hunt him down for the last several years, and finally, the arrest of his daughter led to a breakthrough in getting him arrested.
एजाज लकड़ावाला नाम का गैंगस्टर जो भारत के बाहर से एक्सटॉर्शन कॉल्स देके बम्बई में काफ़ी लोगों को धमकाता था, उसे मुंबई सिटी क्राइम ब्रांच के अफसरान ने कल पटना में अरेस्ट किया। आज उसे कोर्ट के सन्मुख पेश किया गया और 21 जनवरी तक का पुलिस कस्टडी रिमांड इसी केस में प्राप्त किया गया है।
Time for a short break here, but more news and updates will continue on the other side. Do stay with us.
We are 4 million now.
Rajya Sabha Television's YouTube channel has 4 million subscribers now.
1 million people have subscribed to our channel in less than 6 months.
6,000 people join our YouTube channel daily.
RSTV's YouTube channel has 1 million video views every day.
In 2019 alone, Rajya Sabha Television's YouTube channel had 400 million video views.
Become a part of RSTV.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Like and share our videos.
Rajya Sabha Television, marching ahead.
Watch The Big Picture with me, Vishal Dahiya, at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha TV.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
वाटर कंजर्वेशन का बहुत ही ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि आने वाली जो आगे जो जनरेशन्स हैं उनके लिए नेचुरल वाटर जो है वो नहीं बचेगा। अगर इसी तरह से हम वाटर यूज़ करते रहे, इसी तरह से हम एक्सप्लॉइट करते रहे वाटर को, तो आगे किसी के लिए नेचुरल वाटर पीने तक के लिए भी नहीं बचेगा। सूखा भी पड़ता है, उसके लिए भी लोग सूखे में भी इतना तरस जाते हैं पानी के लिए। तो प्लीज़ आप वाटर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कंजर्व कीजिए, और रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग भी बहुत अच्छा ऑप्शन है, क्योंकि बारिश जब भी आती है तो हम उसको कंजर्व कर सकते हैं। तो आप जितना ज़्यादा हो सके, जैसे हो सके, आप वाटर कंजर्व कीजिए।
Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight. Ahead of the Union budget, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman held pre-budget consultations with BJP leaders. She held 4 rounds of meetings with party leaders at the headquarters in New Delhi, seeking suggestions from them. BJP Working President JP Nadda, General Secretaries BL Santosh, Bhupendra Yadav and Arun Singh were among those who attended the meeting. The party expressed confidence that a pro-people union budget will be presented. The BJP has been holding a series of meetings with various stakeholders, including business leaders, farmer bodies, and also the trade unions as part of its pre-budget dialogue.
वही बजट से संबंधित उन्होंने सुझाव लिए कि चूंकि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता भी, इंटेलेक्चुअल्स भी जमीन पे जुड़े हुए लोग हैं और लोगों की क्या अपेक्षा आकांक्षाएं हैं, तो लोगों ने यही कहा कि जिस प्रकार से मोदी सरकार पिछले 5.5 वर्षों से लगातार गांव गरीब किसानों के लिए, आदिवासियों के लिए, ट्राइबल्स के लिए काम कर रही है, लोग उससे खुश हैं और वह प्रक्रिया जारी रहनी चाहिए।
The Supreme Court on Thursday refused urgent hearing on a plea seeking to declare the Citizenship Amendment Act as unconstitutional. Hearing the plea against the ongoing protests over the new citizenship law, Chief Justice S.A. Bobde said the country is going through a critical time and the endeavor must be to bring peace. The bench said it will hear the petitions challenging the validity of the CAA when the violence stops in the country. And in a last-ditch effort to escape the news, Vinaykumar Sharma, one of the 4 convicts sentenced to death in the Nirbhaya gang rape and murder case, filed a curative petition in the Supreme Court on Thursday, seeking a stay on his death penalty. The move comes days after a Delhi court issued death warrants against all the 4 convicts, identified as Mukesh, Pavan Gupta, Vinay Sharma and Akshay Kumar Singh. All the 4 convicts in the 2012 Nirbhaya gang rape and murder case are to be hanged on 22nd of January at 7 a.m. in Tihar jail. A curative petition is the last legal remedy available to a convict. Union Minister Jitendra Singh has said that the government is working to achieve its aim of making India a $5 trillion economy by 2024. The minister was speaking at the launch of 3 books by author and bureaucrat Vedveer Arya. The minister added that over the last 5 years, diligent and sincere efforts have been made to create a model of state-nation which combines an optimum mix of basic Indian ethos and progressive vision for the future.
In the last 5-6 years, ever since this government came in 2014, there has been a very conscious effort to present a model which is an optimum combination of Indian ethos and a progressive vision. हमारे संस्कार का आधार रहे और साथ ही साथ जैसे मोदी जी कहते हैं 5 trillion economy, वो हमारा लक्ष्य है. I think the message should go out loud and clear, even on this pious occasion of the release of these books, that there is no puzzle as far as this fact is concerned, that there is no room for anti-India activism.
Rajya Sabha MP from the BJP, Swapan Dasgupta, criticized the left on Thursday for creating an atmosphere of intolerance in universities across the country. Dasgupta was reacting after he and few others were confined for more than 6 hours on Wednesday at Kolkata's Vishwa Bharati University by members of the Left Students' Organization, where he was scheduled to deliver a lecture on the Citizenship Amendment Act.
Of political parties or becoming pawns of political leaders and how they are going to disrupt their own future. I think under the circumstances, civil society and the students, in fact everybody needs to consider whether some form of code of conduct should actually come into existence whereby these activities can be curtailed or made more responsible and detached from the larger electoral politics of the country.
And let's now get you some news about environment and climate change. A new study suggests that the absence of sea ice in the Arctic region is causing the permafrost to melt. Permafrost is ground that remains frozen for long periods of time, allowing it to store large amounts of carbon. But due to uneven climatic patterns and rising Earth temperatures, permafrost is melting at a high rate, and there is subsequent release of large amounts of carbon in the atmosphere. When this carbon enters the atmosphere, it is likely to make global warming more worse. Scientists believe that climate change is a real threat to the atmosphere, and the expected disappearance of Arctic summer ice will speed up the loss of permafrost completely. According to the report, 36 million people will be affected by the year 2050 due to the damage caused by melting of the permafrost region. And therefore, scientists suggest to maintain the increase in temperature to 2 degrees Celsius so as to balance the permafrost region. And on to some weather news. Cold wave conditions prevailed in most parts of northern India on Thursday, following continuous snowfall in the higher reaches of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. In Uttarakhand, heavy snowfall and rainfall has thrown normal life out of gear. Electricity and water supply have been disrupted in several areas, including Chamoli, Uttarkashi and Pithoragarh districts due to heavy snowfall. Road connectivity has also been affected in the hilly areas of the state. The weather agency has predicted more rainfall accompanied by snowfall in the Kumaon region of the state. Restoration work is currently underway for clearance of roads and also to restore electric and water supply across the hilly areas. In other states like Punjab and Haryana also, the cold wave conditions have further intensified, with the minimum temperature dropping a few degrees below normal. In Punjab, Amritsar was the coldest place with a low of 2.2 degrees Celsius, which is 1 notch below normal. In Haryana, Hisar recorded the lowest temperature with a minimum of 3.2 degrees Celsius, which is 4 degrees below normal. In national capital Delhi, the minimum temperature dropped on Thursday due to the cold winds, with the city recording a minimum of 8.4 degrees Celsius. The Met Department has forecast further dip in temperatures over the weekend due to icy winds coming from the hilly areas. And that's it from us in this bulletin. But before we leave you with visuals of a flock of starlings sweeping and soaring in the Israel sky. Picture this, and thank you for your time.
What